Legal team. First of all, I want to thank my legal team. They were extraordinary in what they did. They worked day and night. Quite frankly, I don't know how they were able to get back to work the next morning after spending close to midnight and beyond. I want to thank my wife. She's an amazing lady. She has such a great spirit of love. And I want to thank my friends and supporters for all their diligence in helping me through this time in my life. I want to also say that I appreciate the jury system. However, I disagree with this particular verdict. Now, you've known me for a long time. I am a faith-based person. My mentality is always optimistic. I look forward to winning on appeal. I love the people of Los Angeles County. I love the United States of America. I love diversity. And it's just a privilege to be alive. And that's how I feel. And I feel good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. All right, thank you very much.
Given a tongue lashing by the judge, Percy Anderson. For 48 years, Lee Baca worked for the LA County Sheriff's Department, 15 of those as the elected LA County Sheriff. He was elected 4 different times, was running for a 5th term before he abruptly resigned in January of 2014. And then came the controversy of an inmate having a phone in the county jail. And that led to the sheriff's downfall, where today he was given a tongue lashing by the judge, Percy Anderson. Among the things the judge told Baca, who simply stared straight ahead and never said a word in court, quote, "This is a sad day for our county. For 15 years, Mr. Baca, you were the most powerful lawman in the county and perhaps in the country. Your criminal conduct is so at odds with your public image." The judge continued, "You said the right things, but you did all the wrong things." And then, a reference to the Alzheimer's that Baca is suffering from, he said, quote, "Alzheimer's is not a get-out-of-jail card."
Lee Baca and his fellow co-conspirators undermined the system of justice. And now they are paying a significant price for that violation of the law.
There is right and wrong. That I'm clear with. But in final comments, I will never accept a cell phone in the county jail given to a career criminal. I don't care who puts it in.
But a jury convicted Baca of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and lying to the FBI during the course of their investigation into abuse at the county jail. Judge Percy said Mr. Baca thought he was above the law. And today, I asked Baca this as he was walking away.
Sir, do you believe anything he said?
Come on.
At all?
No further comments,
Nothing
right?
at all, please? He can answer that question. Do you believe what the judge said?
He's entitled to his own opinion.
Ex-Los Angeles Sheriff Lee Baca is sentenced to 3 years in prison. Lee Baca, the former Los Angeles County Sheriff, was sentenced to 3 years in prison on Friday for orchestrating a multifaceted scheme to derail a federal investigation into his troubled jails. The sentence, handed down by Judge Percy Anderson of the United States District Court, concluded a years-long ordeal that eventually led prosecutors to convict several of Mr. Baca's subordinates before targeting the former sheriff himself. Prosecutors had previously failed to secure a conviction against Mr. Baca when a jury deadlocked in December. At that time, 11 jurors sought to acquit the former sheriff, while one believed him to be guilty. Prosecutors chose to retry the case, and in March, another jury took less than 2 days to convict Mr. Baca, 74, on charges of obstructing justice and lying to federal investigators. Continue reading the main story. Related coverage. Former Los Angeles sheriff found guilty of obstructing federal investigation March 15, 2017. Ex-Los Angeles sheriff, Lee Baca, pleads guilty to lying in corruption inquiry February 10, 2016. Friday's sentence also punctuated the rapid fall of the former sheriff, who served for 15 years and was once praised as a progressive leader of the country's largest sheriff's department. Mr. Baca, who resigned as sheriff in 2014 amid the growing scandal, was ordered by Judge Anderson to begin serving his sentence by July 25 and to pay a $7,500 fine. The judge said Mr. Baca knew what he was doing was wrong and had no problem using his office to further his own agenda, according to a statement provided by the Justice Department. Blind obedience to a corrupt culture has serious consequences, Judge Anderson continued. In a statement emailed to the New York Times, Mr. Baca's lawyer, Nathan J. Hochman, said the former sheriff's conviction and sentence would both be appealed. He noted the different outcome of Mr. Baca's first trial and blamed the court for improperly excluding what he called key defense evidence the second time around. Last year, federal prosecutors reached a plea deal with Mr. Baca, which would have put him in prison for no longer than 6 months. But Judge Anderson ruled that the sentence was too lenient. When the appellate court hears all the evidence in the case, something which the second jury did not, we are confident that Mr. Baca's conviction will be reversed and we will be back for a third trial, Mr. Hochman said in his statement. For over 48 years, Sheriff Lee Baca served the people of Los Angeles County with all his heart, his soul, and his energy 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, he added, lauding his client's work as a sheriff who educated inmates and engaged with Los Angeles's diverse array of ethnic and religious communities. Prosecutors, however, painted a starkly different picture by arguing that Mr. Baca oversaw a scheme that began in 2011 to obstruct a federal investigation into corruption and civil rights abuses at county jail facilities. It was then that Sheriff's Department officials discovered a cell phone in the cell of an inmate they learned was acting as an informant for the FBI. Mr. Baca subsequently ordered a criminal investigation into the federal agents who were conducting the investigation, and directed his subordinates to hide the informant from investigators, prosecutors said. Those subordinates did as they were told, hiding the informant, engaging in witness tampering and threatening to arrest the lead FBI agent on the case, the Justice Department said. Prosecutors said Mr. Baca put his undersheriff, Paul Tanaka, in charge of the scheme. Mr. Tanaka, who also resigned from the department before mounting an unsuccessful campaign to replace Mr. Baca as sheriff, was convicted of obstruction of justice and conspiracy last year and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Mr. Baca has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and at Friday's sentencing, Judge Anderson said Mr. Baca would have received a sentence equal to Mr. Tanaka had it not been for the former sheriff's medical condition and his history of public service. The Justice Department said Mr. Baca was the 10th member of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to be convicted in the obstruction scheme. 11 other former deputies have also been convicted of federal charges, mostly related to beating inmates and subsequent cover ups to hide the abuse, the Justice Department said.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea, too, that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.